must have been only 2. Because I started my channel in 2013, so it must have been 2. Anyways, it's a pretty short video. I think it's only like 8 minutes long. And so I thought I'd make a little bit of a longer one. There's a chapter in here called Perfectionism, and it's only like 3 or 4, well, if you count, both sides of pages, it's like 5 pages. But I thought that would be a relatively good length for a video, and to fulfill this request. I don't get a lot of requests, but most of the ones I get are asking for things I can't really do, which is a shame. However, this is one request that I can fulfill. So shout out to Maddie Bullock, who requested this. And if you are a writer like me, then I just love you all the more. Okay, so we'll get started. The chapter's called Perfectionism. Perfectionism is the voice of the oppressor, the enemy of the people. It will keep you cramped and insane your whole life, and it is the main obstacle between you and your shitty first draft. I think perfectionism is based on the obsessive belief that if you run carefully enough, hitting enough stepping stone just right, or each stepping stone just right, you won't have to die. The truth is that you will die anyway, and that a lot of people who aren't even looking at your feet are going to do a whole lot better than you, and have a lot more fun while they're doing it. Besides, perfectionism will ruin your writing, blocking inventiveness and playfulness and life force. These are words we are allowed to use in California. Perfectionism means that you try desperately not to leave so much mess to clean up, but clutter and mess show us that life is being lived. Clutter is wonderfully fertile ground. You can still discover new treasures under all those piles, clean things up, edit things out, fix things, get a grip. Tidiness suggests that something is as good as it's going to get. Tidiness makes me think of held breath, of suspended animation, while writing needs to breathe and move. When I was 21, I had my tonsils removed. I was one of those people who got strep throat every few minutes, and my doctor finally decided that I needed to have my tonsils taken out. For the entire week afterwards, swallowing hurt so much that I could barely open my mouth for a straw. I had a prescription for painkillers, though, and when they ran out, but the pain hadn't, I called the nurse and said that she would really need to send another prescription over, and maybe a little mixed grill of drugs because I was also feeling somewhat anxious. But she wouldn't. I asked to speak to her supervisor. She told me her supervisor was at lunch, and that I needed to buy some gum of all things and to chew it vigorously, the thought of which made me clutch at my throat. She explained that when we have a wound in our body, the nearby muscles cramp around it to protect it from any more violation and from infection, that I would need to use these muscles if I wanted them to relax again. So finally my best friend, Pammy, went out and bought me some gum, and I began to chew it with great hostility and skepticism. The first bites caused a ripping sensation in the back of my throat, but within minutes all the pain was gone, permanently. I think that something similar happens with our psychic muscles. They cramp around our wounds, the pain from our childhood, the losses and disappointments of adulthood, the humiliation suffered in both, to keep us from getting hurt in the same place again, to keep foreign substances out. So those wounds never have a chance to heal. Perfectionism is one way our muscles cramp. In some cases, we don't even know that the wounds and the cramping are there, but both limit us. They keep us moving and writing in tight, worried ways. They keep us standing back or backing away from life, keep us from experiencing life in a naked and immediate way. So how do we break through them and get on? It's easier if you believe in God, but not impossible if you don't. If you believe, then this God of yours might be capable of relieving you of some of this perfectionism. Still, one of the most annoying things about God is that he never just touches you with his magic wand, like Linda the Good, and gives you what you want. Like it would be so much skin off his nose. But he might give you the courage or the stamina to write lots and lots of terrible first drafts, and then you'd learn that good second drafts can spring from these, and you'd see that big, sloppy, imperfect messes have value. Now it might be that your God is an uptight, judgmental perfectionist, sort of like Bob Dole, or, for that matter, me. But a priest friend of mine has cautioned me away from the standard God of our childhoods, who loves and guides you, and then, if you are bad, roasts you. is a high school principal in a gray suit who never remembered your name but is always leafing unhappily through your files. If this is your God, maybe you need to blend in the influence of someone who is ever so slightly more amused by you, someone less anal. David Byrne is good, for instance. Gracie Allen is good. Mr. Rogers will work. If you don't believe in God, it may help you to remember that this great line of Keenan Roth's, that awareness is learning to keep yourself company, and then learn to be more compassionate company, as if you were somebody you were fond of and wished to encourage. I doubt that you would read a close friend's early efforts, and, in his or her presence, roll your eyes and snicker. I doubt that you would pantomime, sticking your finger down your throat. I think you might say something along the lines of, "Good for you, we can work out some of the problems later, but for now, full steam ahead." In any case, the bottom line is that if you want to write, you get to, but you probably won't be able to get very far if you don't start trying to get over your perfectionism. You set out trying to tell, or set out to tell a story of some sort, to tell the truth as you feel it, because something is calling you to do so. It calls you like the beckoning finger of smoke in cartoons that rises off the pie cooling on the window, slides under doors and into mouse holes, or into the nostrils of the sleeping man or woman in the easy chair. Then the aromatic smoke crooks its finger, and the mouse or the man or woman rises and follows, nose in the air. But some days the smoke is faint, and you just have to follow it as best you can, sniffing away. Still, even on those days, you might notice how great perseverance feels, and the next day the scent may seem stronger, or it may just be that you are developing a quiet doggedness. This is priceless. Perfectionism, on the other hand, will only drive you mad. Your day's work might turn out to have been a mess. So what? Vonnegut said, "When I write, I feel like an armless, legless man with a crayon in his mouth. So go ahead and make big scrawls mistakes. Use up lots of paper." Perfectionism is a mean, frozen form of idealism, while messes are the artist's true friend. What people somehow, inadvertently, I'm sure, forgot to mention when we were children was that we need to make messes in order to find out who we are and why we are here, and, by extension, what we're supposed to be writing. Before I read a little more, I'd like to take the small interval to say that is exactly why I write fan fiction. Because fan fiction absolutely 100% does not have to be perfect. It just has to be fangirly or fanboy-y. It's there for enjoyment. If I want to make it pretty good, then I can make it pretty good. But honestly, it's just there because people like the subject or the people that we're writing about. And for it to be good writing is not the point. The point is we're all fangirling or fanboying over something or someone, and we're all joining together in writing fake experiences about it because we can. And that's what fan fiction is for me. It's a place to dump first ideas and to experience different types of dialogue and characters and settings, and then go, oh, this could be something really good. And then, a few more drafts later, something regular comes out of it. But I really, really love fan fiction because it releases me from my perfectionism. Because I just think the people reading this don't care about the writing. They care about the subject matter. So I don't need to be perfect. I don't even need myself to be perfect. It's amazing. So to all you writers out there, seriously, fan fiction is liberating. If you can't make yourself write a shitty first draft of a regular story, write a shitty first draft of fan fiction. And you'll realize that shitty first draft is actually an okay thing to post online, and people will read it and not care how well it's written. So that's just something that encourages me. So let's read a little more, shall we? Writing a first draft is very much like watching a Polaroid develop. You can't, and in fact you're not supposed to, know exactly what the picture is going to look like until you have finished developing. First, you just point at what has your attention, and take the picture. In the last chapter, for instance, what had my attention eventually becomes clearer and clearer, and finally you see the husband and wife holding their baby with 2 children standing beneath them. At first it all seems very sweet, but then the shadows begin to appear, and then you start to see the animal tragedy, the baboons baring their teeth with them. And then you see a flash of bright red flowers at the bottom left quadrant that you didn't even know were in the picture when you took it, and those flowers evoke a time or memory that moves you mysteriously. And finally, as the portrait comes into focus, you begin to notice all the props surrounding these people, and you begin to understand how props define us and comfort us, and show us what we value and what we need and who we think we are. You couldn't have had any way of knowing what this piece of work would look like when you found a plot going away. Okay, so there's this chapter on character, and I love characters. Oh, blah 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 blah. Never mind. Skip all this. Be sure to edit this out. You got that? Find something else that's really good to read. Okay. I'm just gonna read a little more. This chapter's called Plot. Plot is the main story of your book or short story. If you are looking for long, brilliant discussions of plot, E.M. Forster and John Gardner have written books in which they discuss it so loosely and wisely they will leave you howling like a wolf. I just want to add a few thoughts here, things I pass on to my students when they seem especially bitter and confused. Plot grows out of character. If you focus on who the people in your story are, if you sit and write about 2 people you know and are getting to know better day by day, something is bound to happen. Yes! Characters should not, conversely, serve as pawns for some plot you've dreamed of. Any plot you impose on your characters will be onomatopoetic plot. I say I don't want to worry about plot. Worry about the characters. Let what they say or do reveal who they are and be involved in their lives, and keep asking yourself, now what happens? The development of relationship creates plot. Flannery O'Connor in Mystery and Manners tells us she gave a bunch of her early stories to the old lady down the street, and the one woman returned them saying, them stories just gone and shown you how some folks would do. That's confusing. That's what plot is, what people will up and do in spite of everything that tells them they shouldn't, everything that tells them yet they should sit quietly on the couch and practice their Lamaze, or call their therapist, or eat until the urge to do that thing passes. So focus on character. What happens in Faulkner's books, for instance, arises from the nature of his characters, and even those characters are not necessarily people you want to date. They compel us because we believe they exist, and we believe that the things they do are true to who they are. We read Faulkner for the beauty of his horrible creations, the beauty of his writing, and we read him to find out what life is about from his point of view. He expresses this through his characters. All you can give us is what life is about from your point of view. You are not going to be able to give us the plans to the submarine. Life is not a submarine. There are no plans. Find out what each character cares about most in the world, because then you'll have discovered what's at stake. Find a way to express this discovery in action, and then let your people set about finding or holding onto and defending whatever it is. Then you can take them from good to bad and back again, or from bad to good, or from lost to found. But something must be at stake, or you have no reason or no tension, and your readers will not turn the pages. Think of a hockey player. There better be a puck out there on the ice, or he's going to look pretty ridiculous. This is how it works for me. I sit down in the morning and reread the work I did the day before, and then I wool gather, staring at the blank page or off into space. I imagine my characters and let myself daydream about them. A movie begins to play in my head with emotion pulsing underneath it, and I stare at it in a trance-like state until words bounce around together and form a sentence. Then I do the menial work of getting it down on paper because I'm the designated typist, and I'm also the person whose job it is to hold the lantern while the kid does the digging. What is the kid digging for? The stuff. Details and clues and images, invention, fresh ideas, and intuitive understanding of people. I tell you, the holder of the lantern doesn't even know what the kid is digging for half the time, but she knows gold when she sees it. Your plot will fall into place as, one day at a time, you listen to your characters carefully and watch them move around, doing and saying things and bumping into each other. You'll see them influence each other's lives. You'll see what process of discovering the story will often take place in fits and starts. Don't worry about it. Keep trying to move the story forward. There will be time later to render it in a smooth and seamless way. John Gardner wrote that the writer is creating a dream into which he or she invites the reader, and that the dream must be vivid and continuous. I tell my students to write this down, but the dream must be vivid and continuous because it is so crucial. Outside the classroom, you don't get to sit next to your readers and explain little things you left out, or fill in details that would have made the action more interesting or believable. The material has got to work on its own, and the dream must be vivid and continuous. Think of your nightly dreams, how smoothly one scene slides into another, how you don't roll your closed eyes and say, wait a minute, I've never shot drugs with a Rosalind Carter, I don't even own any horses, let alone little Arabians the size of cats. You mostly go along from scene to scene simply because it's also immediate and compelling. You simply have to find out what happens next, and this is how you want your readers to feel. You may need someone else to bounce your material off of, probably a friend or a mate, someone who can tell you if the seams show or if you've lurched off track, or even that it is not as bad as you thought and that the first 100 pages do in fact hold up. But by all means, let someone take a look at your work. If it's too hard always to be the executioner. Also, you may not be able to see the problems because in finding your characters and their story, you are trying to describe something by feel and not by sight. So someone who can bring a colder eye and a certain detachment to the project. I had a friend named Al who every so often took other people's cats to the pound to be put down because his friends couldn't bear to do it themselves. They were cats who were, for one reason or another, like sickness or incompetence, a blight on the landscape. He didn't care one way or the other about cats. He had an imaginary company whose business was putting cats to sleep, whose slogan was, "The pussy must pay." Let someone do this with your manuscripts. Help you get rid of the twists in the plot that are never going to work no matter how hard you try or how many passes you make at it. I read pretty fast, don't I? That's what happens when I get really caught up in something. Even if I try and read slowly to begin with, it just happens as fast because I can't wait to get to the next word. Probably because Lamott writes really well. I made a video 2 years ago, I think, talking about writing, but I'm so much better now, honestly. I'm still got plenty of ways. I've still got a long way to go, but I'm a lot better of a writer than I used to be, so I should make another video talking about writing. It'll probably be close to an unintelligible whisper, because I'll be talking so fast and so enthusiastically about things you won't really understand what I'm saying. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. I'm doing the really fast whisper thing again. Anyways, Maddie Bullock, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was for you. And I hope you didn't mind that I interjected my spiel on fanfiction right in the middle. Anyways, I have fulfilled a request.